it. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Aren't those cute projects? So we talked about the little Easter bunny bags, the bunny bags the other day. And on Monday, we're going to talk about the Velveteen Rabbit. But today, we're going to talk about that adorable bunny apron. And I have to give kudos to where kudos are due, and that is to this lovely lady right next to me, because she's the one who designed the apron. Isn't it cute? Oh my goodness, so fun. So, there's the apron.
Yeah,
I still need
way
to
fun, way easy.
That. Yeah, and what made it so easy?
Totes.
The totes.
Already done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kimberbell totes.
Yep.
I used a buffalo check Kimberbell tote and didn't have to sew anything. Didn't even have to take care of the edges. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, really nice. And it's a great weight on it too. It's got a canvas to it, so it's more that you don't have to line it, right?
Yep.
And so nice.
I honestly think they're perfect for aprons because that's the kind of structure you want. And you definitely want the coverage if you're going to use it. Now, this one's so cute.
I found the picture.
Oh, there we go.
You know it's going to happen as soon as you decide that you haven't found it.
Yeah,
So
when there's no pressure whatsoever.
Oh, my goodness. So there it is. Jan. Boom, boom, boom. She said because it's totes adorbs.
Yeah.
Totes, get it? Totes adorbs. The tote.
Well, I know that.
Here, Lisa. Because the apron is totes adorbs, meaning totally adorable.
Oh my heck, this is the problem. I'm old school.
Come on, will you get with the times? It's 2021.
My children are all grown up. You still got a few in high school to teach you the ropes. Oh, don't have it. Sorry, I kind of wrapped it all up nicely.
Totes adorbs.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. Now you learned something new. So, what did you do here?
Well, I'm all ready to go.
Okay. I was looking for this.
Yep.
So this is what we're using today, is the buffalo check tote from Kimberbell. And I absolutely, I'm just in love with this gray and cream. It's very pretty, very subtle.
You can use this.
You certainly could.
You can use this if you're into the black. But this gray is so perfect for Easter.
It really is. And it's perfect for, like an Easter-ish, Easter bunny,
springy,
whatever.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Jan says she's in her 60s and she knew that.
I'm sorry. I know. I should.
Okay, so we're going to switch spots here for a minute. So that you can take over this and show them how it's done, Carolisa.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so first of all, you're going to purchase one of these, unless you happen to have one, but you're going to want to make more, so you're going to go ahead and purchase another tote.
So cute.
And I think, I was going to do this one, and then I thought maybe I'm going to redo the other one, but we'll just go for it from here, and we'll see what happens. Because I'll tell you what I did last night, that I was trying to redo the first one that I did, and I didn't actually have that one in front of me. I had it from a photo. So things weren't coming completely clear to me on that one. But you're going to get your tote. We're just going to go from start to finish here because it just isn't too bad to take time on this one.
Okay.
And then, get that down away from me. Okay, perfect. So you're going to open up your tote, right? It's going to come all together. You're going to lay the tote completely open. I've already cut this, so just pretend I didn't. And then you're going to take the one side of the tote, you're going to fold it up so that the apron is on the cream side, which is going to look backwards, actually.
It is, and that's what I think a lot of people were like, wait a minute, that's not...
What, you did?
Yeah.
I did it the other direction because I kind of wanted the other stuff along here to show up a little bit.
Yeah, which I love that.
So I think it really works. Now, how do you know how far to fold up and all of that good stuff? So this is how I decided. You're going to fold it right here. I use the buffalo checks to kind of keep my measurements straight because really, even if the buffalo checks are off a little bit, you want it to look just right in the finished product. And so I folded this so that you see half of a check. And then if you come up here to the top, you have half of a check. So you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. Half a square and another half a square makes 6. So just fold it on this halfway through, and then you want to make sure you have 4 full or 5 full squares. That's how I know how far to fold up. Now, you're also right away are going to unpick one strap.
Yay for unpicking.
Right? Done.
And you did it on purpose.
That's right. And on this one, you could just cut it, of course, but I actually unpicked just this little bit right here and here and got rid of the strap entirely, and then just it goes back together when you sew it.
Yeah, so, I mean, you would cut it. Couldn't you just cut it off?
Absolutely, and we're going to do that with this one.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you don't want
to have that extra bulk in there.
And then you're not going to actually ever see this again.
Right.
By the time we're done. Are these fabric scissors?
This is a lot of thickness.
I'll tell you, I have a pretty heavy duty machine, and I was glad to have it on one stitch on this project. So you're going to fold that all up and then cut off your stuff. So now you have this cute little apron. Let's talk about up here. How do you know where to cut? I cut a little too much off of here, so I was going to start it over. What you really want to do, I've saved me a little piece right here. Let's just take a look at this side over here. So this is what I cut off, right? What I really want is to cut off right here.
Well, how do you know?
So this is how I decide. I'll just kind of show you. And the reason I want to do it that way is because I need enough space at the top right here for the binding that we're going to put around it.
Right.
So I give myself just maybe, what is that, 3/4 of an inch?
Okay.
And then up here, pretend I didn't.
Now, we will have a pattern for you all that will have all of this in here.
Yes, it will. It will. So before I confuse all of you, what you want is enough space when you get through with this fold. You need enough space for your ears to have a background, and you need to have some space over here for your carrots. So you don't want to cut such a deep. And the reason I ended up doing that is because I thought I had cut it too high last time, so I was trying to compensate. Don't compensate. So this is how I decide. You've about got 3/4 of an inch from the tab. Just cut that the same on both sides. And then you're going to, let's just flip this around. And this is what I want it to look like. You're going to come down. Oh, I didn't do that right. Wait. You're going to come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? You're going to count how many buffalo checks you have.
Oh, okay.
And again, this is going to be in the pattern. So you're going to come down 6 buffalo checks. And then you're going to draw a little line right here, and then mark a little line up here, and then you're just going to gauge how you want that to look.
You know, you could also put like a plate right there.
So that's how I did the bottom, was a plate. You could do this with a plate too. I lied, it's not 6. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where you want it. 6 was too much. You want to go 4 down, and that's where you're going to mark it, and then you just do a slope. Then, like with your paper dolls and all that good stuff you used to do, you're just going to fold that over on the other side and match them, and then cut like that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pretty close to...
You did that with paper dolls?
I would cut my mom would cut paper dolls out and fold them in half, and then she'd make the paper doll so that they were perfectly symmetrical.
That does not surprise me from your mom.
No, it doesn't.
She's amazing. For those of you who don't know, she's our long armor here, who is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, she's fun. She's fun. But you'll also notice when you have your towel, when you have your tote right here, you have a little Kimberbell tag on the inside of your tote along here. You're going to cut that off. So it's not going to look like this is the back of the tote. It's going to look like this is the front of the apron. And then down here at the bottom, to match those little edges up at the bottom, I liked the round. Now you don't have to do that. You could keep it the way that it was, but I thought it was really sweet
Mm-hmm.
looking. And so with that, I just took a dinner plate, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
put specific,
Measurements. Yeah.
measurements in there for
Yeah.
you, but I just took a dinner plate
Mm-hmm.
and matched it, and I just made my little marks,
Mm-hmm.
matched the measurement over here, put the dinner plate on there, and
Mm-hmm.
you could even use your mini curve ruler if you
Yes,
happen
you
to have one of
could. Yes,
those.
you could. Absolutely.
So once you've done all of that, you have your apron ready to be designed, right?
Okay. Now, a couple things. And we don't have the actual one that I showed on Studio 5 here because we left it at our Sandy store. So those of you in the Sandy store, if you location area, if you want to see it up close and personal, that's where you'll find it. But on the one that we showed on Studio 5, you had actually sewn this down. However, you wouldn't have to. You could just sew the sides and keep this as
As
an
a
open
pocket.
pocket, couldn't you?
Yep, you absolutely
So
could.
it's totally up to you.
Yeah. And you could even take, so we're going to do the little ears, right? We're going to put those ears in right here. And if you want, you could even just sew so that the ears stay put and don't
then
flop
have the
around.
pocket.
And then you could have your whole pocket right here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. When I'm cooking, I don't really use my pockets very much. So to me, it's not a big deal. But there's options. There's lots of options.
Now, when you did the ears, you actually stuffed them, didn't you?
Yes.
And that was really a cute.
Yes, I
Cute way to
did.
do it.
Which I didn't bring them. I was going to just show you quickly what I do when I stitch it all together. But you can see I have, and these will come in the pattern. I've got the templates all in there. These are the two, the insides of the bunny ears. So those go in there.
Here, I'm going to show on my phone again.
The stuffy.
The stuffy ones. There we go.
Well, and you know what I thought would be really good
cute that
too is to
Okay.
stuff it with, you could even sew it together with maybe even just 2 layers of quilt batting.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to
Or
stuff it.
you could do your project batting from Kimberbell.
Yep.
And just put a couple of layers on there.
That would be fun.
I liked the look to have part of it not stuffed, and then it just drew attention to the ears to have them slightly stuffed.
Okay.
So that's kind of, but I've got all my templates already taken care of, and I've already ironed on our sticky back from Kimberbell. What's it called?
It's called the Peel and Stick, and it's awesome.
So Kris, Vanna, will you please help me peel?
Sure. So have you guys discovered the new Peel and Stick from Kimberbell? It's amazing. I love it. It's going to take the place of your Heat and Bond Light or your Steam-A-Seam. I like to say it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to transfer designs like Heat and Bond is, but it has the stick of like Steam-A-Seam. So it's the best of both.
You can reposition.
Yep. The nice thing about it is it creates a sticker just like this. And you can feel, or excuse me, you can hear it right through the computer, right? You see how it's sticking? This has created virtually a sticker, so you can decide where you want it to go. If I'm going to have my carrot top down here, I could put it down, and then I could play around with different things. If I need to lift up a portion, I could lift it up, put another piece down, and I can, if I go, no, that wasn't the right place, no problem, I can reposition it. My guess is this carrot top going to go underneath this carrot?
That's the large one.
This is the large one.
So this is the small one.
So look how, and is it going on top or underneath?
No, I tuck it underneath.
Okay.
So in the template.
Take a look at this, guys. Now I can peel this back, and it's not going anywhere, and then reposition and stick it right back on. I just peeled it back and reposition and stick it right back on.
Oh, and I'm crooked, so I'm going to peel it back and reposition and do it again.
Okay.
So anyway, this stuff is really awesome.
Yeah.
And I made the template on here a little bit long because different people have different opinions about how long they're. I say this because my husband had an opinion when I was making these. You need those to be longer, he says.
I love that.
So anyway, we've got a large carrot and a small carrot.
Evelyn asked, how did you cut them out? Just with regular scissors.
You can. I like the Karen Buckley ones.
Yep.
I actually used my fabric scissors and was kind of cringing about it because there's paper involved. So I wasn't really sure how I felt about that.
Okay, so do you want me to put this one underneath?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure. Now on the rabbit ears, we're going to just quickly go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to show you. I do not put the rabbit ear on until I've sewn it together and I've flipped it inside out. So,
hold on, Smokey Joe. Where does this go?
Okay, so one of them goes inside the pocket.
Oh.
And one of them goes outside the pocket.
Okay, gotcha.
So you
All
kind
righty.
of just lay those out like that. Now, if you want them both to be inside the pocket, go for it.
Sharon, the product is called Fusible Peel-In Stick. Fusible Peel-In Stick. Or if you just type in stabilizer, up will come the different Kimberbell stabilizers, and it's in a green package, but it's Fusible Peel-In Stick. We love, love, love it. Okay, and no, LaDawn, you actually do not have to iron the carrots again. You only ironed them on once onto the back of your fabric, but you do not have to iron them again. You simply can now take it to your sewing machine and do your zigzag stitch or your blanket stitch or your raw edge applique, anything like that. Okay? All right.
Okay, so I'm just over here at the machine.
Okay, do you want me to come on over?
And, yeah, go right ahead. I'm going to sew
what are we
together.
showing?
I'm going to sew together my little rabbit ears. So I've taken right sides together. You can't really see very well because it's white on white, but the one thing I do want to note is that when I have an issue, when I have something like this and it shifts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. And I start at the top and do one side, and then I come around and I do the other side, so that if it's going to shift at all, it'll be down in a space where it doesn't make any difference.
You know what? That's brilliant. I like that.
Let's. Oh, am I plugged in as a foot pedal?
No. Yes.
I'm a little shy here, but I use 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And I'm not going to sew all the way down to the very bottom here. I want to have enough room to stuff. So I'll cut that. Oh, I don't have my pivot on. Got to do it by hand. And then I'm just going to meet myself back up here at the top where I left off. And stop. Okay, so now let's go back over here so I can cut this a little bit. We are going to do what you do, and you want to just cut that little point right there so you don't have too much bulk. Everything else is fine. I actually did not notch any of this curve right here. You can. It's not going to hurt anything. Do we have a purple thing popping around?
Ooh.
I have this. This will work. I'm just going to turn this inside right, then we'll press it.
You know, you could, if you wanted it to not, if you didn't want to worry about turning it right side out, you could have raw edges.
Totally could.
On that bunny ear.
And wouldn't that be nice and quick and easy?
It would.
Yeah, love that idea, actually. So now I'm just making sure all my edges are nice and open, which I wouldn't have to worry about if we did raw, right? And then I'm not going to do a fancy job, but you get the point. Now, after I've done that, and before I start to stuff it, now if you've used project batting, it's going to be a little stuffed, and that's not going to hurt anything. But if you're going to actually stuff it with loose fiberfill or polyfill, then you'll want to do this. But now you're going to take and iron that on.
Okay.
For now. So
now, another thing you could do, if you wanted to stitch this down, you would probably need to applique it onto one of the pieces before you sew them together, right?
When you say stitch it down, what do you mean?
Because we're going to stitch down the rest of these appliques, so wouldn't you do the same thing here?
You know, I didn't actually stitch down my rabbit ears.
But if you wanted
to, then you would need to do that first. If you had raw edges here, you can go ahead. If you're not going to stuff it, you could do it and just stitch it down. I think once you stuff it a little bit, I kind of like having the ears loose, and so all I did was stitch or glue this on right here. Now another thing you can do is go ahead and iron that on before you do the sewing.
Uh-huh.
And then you can do all the applique first. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about stitching the actual bunny ear to there, but yes, I see what you're saying.
I meant,
Yes.
just the applique, this inner part of the ear would go right here. So if you were going to stitch this down to the ear, you would do it before you stitch the two together.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Sorry, thank you. And I didn't remember that either.
No problem.
And even after I've stitched this, I'm going, oh, that's kind of big. Trim it down if you don't like the way that it looks, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to see if my fingernails will work, which they're not. Here, Kris.
Want to try it?
Here you go.
I just love your nails, by the way. I'm thinking, how pretty
thank
are
you.
those?
They're Easter.
They're very pretty.
They quit growing on me, so I finally started going and having them do those gel nail things
gorgeous.
on them. Thank you. Okay, so lay that baby down.
Yeah.
If you're going to do the raw edge, you could totally get away with the raw edge here.
Yeah.
But you know, now that we're thinking about it, I think it's better to probably do some kind of a stitching on here. You could still do a little bit to tack it down and have it be on the back.
As long as you don't mind it being through the back,
but
that's totally fine.
If it were me, I probably would put that on. The only reason I wasn't putting it on first was just because this makes it a little tricky to pull through. But it's not that big of a deal. So you're gonna, I love these because they stick. And you can see what I'm talking about, but we don't actually have to do all the iron
all over the place.
No.
Especially when you have lots of little pieces that you're trying to applique. Oh my gosh, it's so nice.
Yeah. So I did do some applique around here. I stuffed my little ears down in my little pocket right here. You know, did I tell you, Kris? I think I did. That this little ear idea was actually my husband's.
That's awesome.
He doesn't get involved with my projects, but this one was
sometimes he does.
This one was all over the kitchen table. So and you can kind of see too. Kris has got her greenery kind of stuffed down into the carrot like that. This one's a little bit longer. It's nice because you can go with whatever works. The reason, and like I said, my husband would put both of them in the pocket, but I didn't have. I wanted something going on right here.
Oh, no, I love it.
So,
I actually like it on the outside, too. It adds some color down here. So that's so fun. So again, you could, this idea of just stitching it across so that the bunny ears stay poking out of the pocket, but leaving this open, I think is really fun.
Gives you a little, kids love pockets. If this is for a kid, they love it. And you could, if you were going to give this to a little kid, you could put their Easter candy and treats inside the apron. Wouldn't that be cute?
Now, you could certainly make this into an adult size apron. You wouldn't have, of course, this cute pocket, but you would just, and rather than folding it up, keep it long, and you could make that, and you could even just have the whole apron be the buffalo check if you wanted like the adult size apron, right?
And if you wanted the same pocket situation going on, just make your own pockets for it, right?
Definitely.
So now the last thing that I did was
I really like how you finished this, Carolisa.
Oh, good. Thank you. I wanted these raw edges over here and all along my cuts. I wanted to kind of make sure they all looked uniform. And so I got some binding. And I just did binding all the way around. And if you do it on the bias, it takes these curves perfectly. So what I've got here is a quick little demo, which I think a lot of you have seen, these little bias tape makers. So you just go ahead and press that through. As you pull, you're creating this bias tape, and you're going to iron that flat. And now, as I've got this all done, you're not going to get the great gist of it, but everything, I chose pink because I think pink and gray looks really good together.
I do too.
But you're going to have a cute little no raw edge showing a little bias.
That is so cute.
And I went all the way around the bottom, even though there's a fold right there, just so that it would all look the same. And then I just ended that right here at the top and didn't do anything with up here, and just finished that all out. I just definitely, if you're going to do this, cut your fabric on the bias, because there's a lot of curves going on right there.
Definitely.